What is up, everyone? This is the LUMIX S1ii by Panasonic, and my name is Paul B Video, and I've been using it for 1 year, and here's my review of using it professionally and for personal projects.
Everything I do, pack a punch, back it up, stack it up to the sky, now rack it up, planet of the brakes, won't sink, just swim, the master blaster, boombox on 10, throw it, Hail Mary, some I ain't trying to pass it, it's still very on to the casket drops, I accelerate to the pedal brakes, when we celebrate, I make you levitate, first in, last to leave, always, reign supreme, victory on stage, I come alive when the pyro hits from the 213 to the 416, yeah.
So there are two things that a lot of clients are requesting these days. Number one is, can I get a vertical video too? And number two is, can I get photos too while you're at it? So S1ii is a perfect tool to do both. So the raw video codec is really juicy. There's depth, there's control, and there's this feeling that it gives you. Also, it comes without the digital sharpening of the camera internally, so there's this softer look that's really pleasing. One bad thing about the RAW is that you cannot shoot open gate, but what I've learned about that is I've been shooting things twice. If I'm in a controlled production, I will shoot it horizontal once and vertical once. And I've learned that both ratios really require its unique attention to detail and composition. And being able to do 60 frames open gate also has been a huge game changer for clients who require slow motion. Speaking of slow motion, let's talk about super slow motion. With that open gate, you can do 240 frames per second at 1080, and you can do 120 frames per second shooting 4K. False color has been an amazing tool to expose. So there are different ideas of how to expose vlog and raw video, but in my opinion, the best way to expose everything is you bring as much light in as possible before the clipping point. So the footage will look kind of overexposed and bright, but as long as your highlight's not clipped, you can bring all the exposure down in post and get really clean footage. So the tilt and flip screen right here has been amazing. First of all, it does not get in the way of the hand when I'm using a handle. And also I like that I can shoot like this. I love that the center is lined with the lens. There's something satisfying about being centered together. So accidentally changing the setting is definitely a common thing. And having 3 lock buttons, which didn't exist before, has been a fantastic tool. This extra functional button they gave us in the front, which comes as a record button, but you can change to whatever, also has been really useful to have one right there. So 32-bit audio obviously is really powerful tool to just control audio volume freely in the post-production. And now with the XLR2 adapter or the new multi-directional shotgun mic adapter, you can get 32-bit audio. But for me, the solution that I like is using the DJI. It's small and I can do so many more things just like right now. So you can increase your dynamic range with dynamic boost. It stays at ISO 1000 and there's more rolling shutter, so you have to be careful. But at times I've used it and I got more details in the windows than I did before with the S5 II models. So I've been a passionate Lumix shooter since GH5 10 years ago, and every model I have tried since then, GH5S, S1, S5, S5 II, S5 IIX, S9, S1 II, the stabilization does get better each time, and you can really pull off gimbal moves without a gimbal on Lumix cameras. And so now let's talk about the cons. Overheating has been one of the biggest issues since its release. Since then, Panasonic has released the second firmware update in November to improve the tolerance for overheating. It's not a bulletproof firmware update. Solution for me is simple. If you're a professional shooter, you gotta have 2 or 3 bodies as backup or doing 2 camera interviews, right? So I've been just simply switching bodies as I shoot to deal with overheating. As I said before, I'm a minimalist shooter, so I don't use an external monitor, but people have been complaining about the latency issues. But if you do turn off the audio transfer through HDMI, it does improve it. The autofocus is pretty good when it comes to one area, and you can choose different objects, right? People, urban sports, cars, trains, and animals, and all that. But the object tracking is not very good on LUMIX S1. I'm talking about what I call the sticky autofocus that you might find in Sony cameras. You can point at anything and then it puts a dot on it and it will track it. This S1 II has not been very good at that. So shooting raw has been reliable, but for professional work, I would still like to record to 2 sources at the same time. And I know putting 2 express cards in here is going to blow the camera up. But what if there's a way to just put an external monitor, one goes into the express card and one goes into the external monitor? And I think that'll just be a really nice, secure way to shoot raw. So the last con that we need to talk about is moire. The camera does create moire, but there's a solution created by a company named Colaris. It's a filter that you put it inside the camera. I have it installed in here, and I have it installed in the camera I'm recording as well. But I'm not gonna show it to you because I've just spent so many hours cleaning these two cameras absolutely perfect, dust free, so I don't want to open the lenses. But however, these filters have stayed in my camera pretty much for 6 months or so, so it's hard to tell when it reduced the moire, but I did see a moire once in a while. So it's not a bulletproof solution, and I think we just need to be careful and review the footage and fix moire as we go on commercial shoots. After all, I'm super satisfied with this camera. It's powerful, it's feature packed, and the quality is awesome on the raw. But I do not think this camera is right for wedding videographers or event videographers. People who have to sometimes work in hot weathers, or people who have to do really, really long recordings. For people like me who are doing controlled productions and who can review the footage and who just do small recordings at a time, it's absolutely perfect. So I don't want to repeat myself too much here. I hope you enjoyed this review, and go Lumix.